So welcome to everybody to another episode of Podium Stories. Today I have a really special guest in the building. In the building, meaning we're really separated, and we're in two different parts of the world. Yeah, his name's Sebastian. Sebastian sold his first agency, Rooster, to have us worldwide. He then started and is the CEO of Anchor, a creative and production agency for clients around the globe based in NYC. Within 3 years, Anchor expanded from one to multiple locations in now North and South America, and was named the 16th fastest growing company in 2019 by Inc. magazine. After this boring intro that I created, today we're going to talk about media, growing, running, and selling an agency, and leadership as a CEO. Sebastian, again, thank you so much for being here, man.
Marty, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I was very impressed with your kind of outbound outreach to me. Thank you, number one, and two. I hope you're doing safe, hold up, and I hope to hug you one day.
Absolutely. When he says nice outbound, what he really means is creepy, because I sent him a video with with no notice, a cool video, but whatever. So one of the things that I saw when I was doing a bit of research on you, Sebastian, was one sentence that you wrote. I started my first company, Rooster, in 2010 after becoming apathetic to the way the advertising industry worked. And I was wondering if you could expand on that and what you meant by that.
Sure. Yeah. So let's see. I've not the youngest man. Hopefully, I look like a young man. But I've been in this industry for a while. I started in advertising as a junior copywriter, coming from an internship with a story agency called Kirschenbaum Bonnet Partners, which is no longer alive, unfortunately. I think now it's called Forsman Bodenfors, a Swedish agency who was also fantastic, but c'est la vie. And in 2000, I guess, almost 20 years ago, I went into advertising as thinking about, okay, great, we're just going to create amazing stuff all the time. We get to make commercials on television, and short format storytelling is great. I can try and do this stuff, and it didn't turn out to be that way. And being a junior creative at the time, you don't get anything seen, and I'm not what you think of as an entitled person whatsoever. And I understand that you have to work through, many ranks in order to get to the place to get yourself seen. But I think for me, I was very, I guess, ready to make stuff happen. And I knew that being a junior creative wasn't going to make stuff happen. So I made the leap, I guess, or transition over to strategy side of the business, because I knew if you were in strategy, you were able to talk to the client more instead of being kind of cordoned into a place where they ship you out and present some ideas and dance, monkey dance. At strategy level, I said, well, I'm still not close enough to get to these clients and tell them what I really think matters, not just about an idea or an insight, but to be on a personal level. So I made the weird step to go into accounts. But accounts is actually, from my perspective, probably one of the least heralded and least respected positions within the ad industry. One, because you're taking everything from strategy and account plus clients,
right,
and you don't get any glory whatsoever. But you actually do get glory because you are the one holding all the information and can actually have influence on a decision that is made. So great. I went from that, and then I really wanted to get back into making stuff again instead of being kind of a whisperer of sorts. And I grew up in a family of two artist parents. My mother's an artist, and my father was an artist. He passed away last year, 2 years ago. And my grandparents are artists, and what I was raised on was making, right?
right.
So while I was personally making progress and influencing people, I wasn't making the best progress in actually creating things. And there's always that conundrum, right? So it's like you made progress in one part of your life, but the other you're going, what the heck is going on? So I decided to get into production. So I
Mhm.
quit my ad land job and started my own agency called Rooster in 2009. This was actually before Rooster was an ad agency. It was a TV production company.
Gotcha.
I wanted to quit the ad agency 100% and or ad world 100% and get into long format storytelling. I'm a writer. I'm a drawer. I
Mhm.
love to just create things, and I thought that TV was going to be one of these things. Um, Luckily for me, I had success at a very early, I guess, stage in TV production. And TV is more closed off than advertising. You need to have the right producer, the right director, the right talent, the right agent, the right manager, kind of everything. It's this weird world.
Makes sense.
Um, but thankfully, advertising gave me that opportunity to at least meet some of those creators.
Mhm.
And I cobbled together a TV show. I cobbled together an agent. I got hooked up with an agent at CAA, which was through a former agency that I worked with when we ran the Obama '08 campaign, and sold the show and sold a TV show
Mhm.
to Travel Channel, kind of a shitty little show or whatever. But I started to see the power of creating and actually doing storytelling. It's like, wow, all of these big people are listening to stories,
Right.
longer form things. You know, um, and when the TV show hits, I'm going, wow, that took a little bit of time. But if we apply this kind of thinking about being a little bit more rogue and vanguard about the way that we pitch stuff, and it doesn't have to be so brief driven, but we pull from the guts and just choose to talk how we want to talk instead of worrying about a client firing us. And now, as again, as a business owner, and you learn this, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. But of course, you need to understand that because people's lives at hand.
Right.
But I applied that to opening Rooster worldwide, which was very novel at the time. It was a production company plus ad agency hybrid.
Right.
Um, and we didn't take retainer work. We didn't, really base anything off of cool. We have deep strategists and stuff like that. It was all about how can we be funny in the age of the internet.
Right.
To be honest, it's shooting from the hip and trusting your gut. And a lot of clients gravitated towards that. This was, not the dawn of the internet, but
Mhm.
it was the dawn of the social age,
Yeah.
right? Where stuff was being shown and, something would go viral immediatamente. And if you get, if anybody back then understood Reddit, you understood the internet. It's like
Right.
now more than ever before, the Alibaba or whomever bought them up for $250 million. But anyway, as you can
That's a
edit
good
that
story.
it,
So,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, uh, it's really interesting how you played on that hybrid um, scheme, right? As an agency, and I'm guessing that's one of the reasons that you guys got a lot of success early on. But there's one point that you decide to sell, and one of
Yeah,
the things that I read is that you left the deal a bit early and left some money on the table.
yeah.
So,
It was an amazing ride to start this company from scratch. My newlywed wife with me. I left a relatively cushy agency job and left kind of the TV side of the business as well, and said, you know what, I'm going whole hog. I'm going to start this company. I would go to the YMCA every day, which was a very cheap gym membership.
right,
Pretend to work out, and really wouldn't. It would just be a thinking place for me to get away from my home.
yeah,
Very apropos right now for these times, but um, Yeah, it was a slow burn, but the people who decided to join me along the journey within the first 3 years of starting the business, from 2010 to 2013, were weirdos, right? Like, I couldn't pick from the pool of big agency talent.
Right.
I don't have a fucking, a massive black card and a line of credit to allow people to come on and let's just fund this thing on a whim and a thing.
Yeah.
These people came and they trusted me with their lives, essentially, to say that what we believe in is great creative and doing it our way. And we were successful. And then, it became hard. We grew to, around 35 people or so, and we're starting to look at bigger salaries and bigger office space, and you know all of the major holding companies, everybody from NBC to IPG to Omnicom to fucking you name them, all of them. Came and knocking at the door saying, "We want a little bit of your magic. Like,
Right.
you guys are." By the way, never trust, if you're going to sell, if you're in the agency world, never trust a holding company exec who says, "You guys are like the speedboat, and we're like the big old kind of shit that turns. We want to send you off to be the speedboat. The cool guys are the fucking bullshit," because that's what they sold me on. That's what they sold me on.
They're lying.
Yeah, and listen. I wanted to give my employees, who were my best friends in the world, a a better life. We didn't have insurance. They were, again, by the bootstraps, saying this is the greatest place I've ever been. Hopefully they were.
Right.
They came to work every day, and they came early, and we left late, and we all hung out together. It was a family. And I wanted to give them more. And one of my dear friends, Colleen DeCourcy, who is now the global CCO of Wieden & Kennedy, was at Havas at the time, running her own little shop, and we formulated a scheme where Rooster would be the content agency to populate essentially all of Havas's locations worldwide. Colleen's company, Socialistic, which is a social agency, would be the social agency worldwide, and Cake, which was an event agency based out of the UK, would be the event agency populated worldwide, and we would create our own micro network, right? That sounds great.
Makes sense.
Fantastic. Starting bootstrapping from an apartment in the East Village in New York City to becoming a global agency with some of your icons. Fantastic. Signed the deal, got a little money on the table, was able to squander it all away in an apartment in New York City. But the best investment you could ever do is real estate in New York City, although I don't know about after COVID.
Right. But back then.
Yeah, exactly. Back then it was great. And yeah, about 6 months in, quarterly finance meetings became weekly finance meetings. Projections and forecasts became, this needs to be reality, but we will slash your business or your company, meaning holding company, by 50%, but you still need to hit the numbers. Like that type of thinking just doesn't work.
Right.
To me, it was pretty clear that they had purchased us to take us out of the game, instead of to be a partner. And good on them. I was a young boy, trying to be, I guess, one, seeing an opportune time to grow the company, but two, going, wow, this is actually going to work. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in the corporate world. And if I was to be the leader of the free world, it would not work that way. But yeah, so So we had a 5-year or 3-year earnout deal. 18 months in, was set to make a substantial amount of cash if I was even to just stay in it for that long. However, seeing my compatriots, being slashed by the powers that be from the holding company, I just couldn't take it anymore, and
right.
that meant for me having to take money off the table, as well as all of my partners as well to take money off the table, but also to take myself out of the game. In taking a deal where you quit a 3-year earnout deal, you have to, if you're a good negotiator, you will get down to 1-year non-compete, meaning you can't work at all.
Yeah.
They had that, crazily within our, kind of exit package. And yeah, so I didn't work for a year, although I did.
We'll edit that part out as well.
Exactly. No, you put that shit in there. I don't give a fuck.
Right?
And during that time, it's like, okay, what were we missing? What were we missing? In the time period that I left Rooster, quit Havas worldwide, what were we missing? I know what we were missing. Actually, what we were missing was strategy in media, right?
Right.
So why not take the same model of the old ad industry, right? So it's like there's always 3 different categories, right? There's your ad agency, there's your media agency, that should be in the middle. Your media agency right in the middle.
Of course.
And then there's the production company, that's a thumbs up. And there's fees in between each one of these things, and none of them talk to each other, right?
Right.
Like it's like a handoff from here to here to here, and it's lost in translation all between. Especially the fucking media agency. They never talk. They just are looking out for their own cash, and they never share anything with anybody else. Why the fuck couldn't we be the media agency? Why the fuck couldn't we be the production company? Why the fuck couldn't we be the advertising agency with true strategy and true strategic chops and great insights and fucking I did? No. Right. So I found my brothers and sisters in arms who half of them came from Rooster. We were able to hire them back, on a hope and a dream, and then found the new blood, meaning my media guy and co-founder David Gross, who came from startup world, right? So we're entering this world now where it's not about CPC and CPM or fucking CTR, and I guess that still exists. I don't know why, but he was more about ROAS, return on ad spend, and fucking CAC, customer acquisition costs, and CAC to LTV, meaning lifetime value of a customer, because it's like we're in the age of the startup now, right?
Yeah, the numbers don't matter.
Numbers don't, those are the numbers that fucking matter, right? Exactly. Those are the numbers that matter. It's not about anything else but that. It's like ROAS, CAC to LTV, and CAC. That's it. And how do we get all that shit down? How do we get, up on ROAS and the other shit down, right? That's it. So it's like, it was fascinating to me that a lot of these, some of them, but a lot of these big brands, Fortune 500 brands, had no idea about this. So it clicked in my brain. I'm going, wait, so that means that none of the agencies or media agencies know this, or maybe they do but aren't telling their fucking clients that this is what really matters. Instead of this house that they built, we're living in a new fucking world. So what the fuck? That's why people like hate me, by the way.
Yeah, I feel them. I understand why.
Yeah, but you're going, come on, motherfuckers. Let's get this shit started and let's actually make some difference. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. Oh, there's my daughter. Okay. Baby. Hey, yeah.
No worries.
Hey, my phone. She's grabbing the cat.
Yeah. She's excited about it. I can tell.
She's also pretending she's a cheerleader. Um, but yeah, so it was a slow build. It was a slow build, and it was hard to talk to people because this was a new thing, right? And you can track it back, by the way. I did an article in Fast Company, which I'll send you as a follow up. But I coined the fucking term data driven creative in 2012 or 11. Everybody thinks that's their shit. And I said in Fast Company magazine, in print, I said, this is mine and I'm using it. Thank you very much.
It's on the records. You can track it back.
Fucking record. You can track it back. But truly that was what it was, right? So it's like you can listen, you can
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead, Marty.
No, you're good. So actually, I'd love to ask you 1,000 more questions, and maybe we have to do part 2, either in a podcast or over beers in the States.
Yeah.
But really quickly, and just to let you go, in 60 seconds or 30 seconds, I read a part of an article that you wrote. I'll read it to you. I don't come from money, the exact opposite, actually. A single mother and starving artist with 2 kids. And I wanted to ask you, how has that shaped you as a leader and as a business owner? I come from the same background. Single mother. My dad's still around, but I grew up with my mom in a small apartment near Barcelona. And I know that has shaped me a lot. So I want to ask you, how has that affected you as a business owner?
Yeah, man, it's done everything to me, and I know, you know, it's nothing to put down anybody who's had a nuclear family, and that's what I am trying to do now, is keep my family together with my children and all that type of stuff. But I would not have wished anything else but that upon me. My dad, again, he's dead, but was a great man, but his own man, right?
Right.
You know, I learned later on in life, not as a kid. But my mother, holy shit, that woman hustled her fucking ass off. And she would never take no for an answer. I mean, she had a job before she become a successful artist now, and selling her work. But I remember her doing jobs as fixing paint on rugs just like these, on Persian rugs, right? She would take any job that she could in order to make sure that she supported us in what we wanted to do in life. I also think that, you know, she never thought of money as a means to an end, right? It was a means to an experience. We were always broke. We had 14 different homes in one state in the course of 7 years, for Christ's sakes, because the rent started getting too high and we kept on moving. But she still somehow found a way to bring us to Europe as children, because she wanted to have those experiences for us, you know? That is credit that I will give to my mother until the day that I die, and hopefully I die before she does, because her presence brings, I don't know, man, more joy to me, more joy to my children, more joy to the world. And if we have more people caring about experience than money, then that is going to make the world much more beautiful, richer, fuller place. And I don't mean rich in terms of money, but rich in terms of just filling your body with joy, man. It's
seems like we were raised by the same mother. My mother did the same thing. We lived at my grandma's house for years until she saved enough to like get her own apartment, and we used all our money into like flights to London, to Italy, to these places, because there was experience. It was not, let me get you an iPhone, or let me get you something like physical. Let me share something with you. Time and experience.
I don't think I'm as good as my mother at doing it, but fucking A, it's important, man. And Yeah, man. God bless your mom, Marty. What is her name?
Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless Anna, man. She sounds like a fantastic woman. It's true when you're young and impressionable, and if you can see something beyond just the walls or a screen or something like that, it gives you the impetus to go further, right? It's like
Right.
I want that. I want to see that every day. I would like
Right.
to experience this. I want to smell that. I want to taste this
For
weird
sure.
gelato. You know,
It
it's
showed that
like,
the
yeah.
world was bigger than my city, and that's one of the reasons why then I moved to the States at 17, or why.
You knew fucking basketball and became a fucking D2 player, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
but yeah, I appreciate all the mothers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are doing
They,
an amazing job, and we really appreciate you.
yeah.
Sebastian, I know you're gonna go. I know you're busy. Just again, thank you so much for being here. If somebody wants to reach out to you, they have the Anchor Worldwide website, right? And
Yes, yeah. It's anchorww.com. It's very confusing, but it's the URL that we have. So check it out. Hopefully the website's not broken. If it is, hit me up. And if you're somebody who can fix it, I'd love your expertise as well.
and if you're listening, thank you so much for listening or watching on YouTube. If you want, subscribe or share. If you don't, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. See you guys next episode.